Named after Mount Royal, the triple-peaked hill found at the heart of the city, Montreal is the second largest city in Canada. Until 1970, Montreal was considered the commercial economic capital of Canada until it was surpassed by Toronto. Unlike the rest of Canada, over 65% of the city speaks French, making it the official language of Montreal. The city has been the site of multiple international conferences, including the 1967 International and Universal Exposition and the 1976 Summer Olympics. As you scan the Montreal skyline, it's hard not to notice the large 30-foot cross at the peak of Mount Royal. Drive up this gigantic hill and make your way to the three peaks, which give you a different view of the city. The main view is situated at Chalet du Mont Royal, where you'll be able to take amazing panoramic photos of the downtown core. It is an ideal site for admiring a wide variety of plants, birds, and animals, or for enjoying outdoor activities which run all year long. As you overlook the landscape from Mount Royal, you'll get a glimpse of St. Joseph's Oratory. This church is adorned with a massive Renaissance-style dome basilica built in 1925. It is dedicated to Canada's patron, St. Joseph. Holding both religious and historical significance, the Oratory has been a popular site for pilgrimage amongst worshippers. In 1904, this site is where Brother Andre of the Congregation de Saint Croix built a small chapel and is reported to have performed miraculous acts of healing. His tomb is in the original portion of the chapel. Apart from the historical aspects, you can also go up to the observatory and view another angle of Montreal. The next stop on your journey takes us to Olympic Park. In 1976, Montreal welcomed the world into the neighborhood by hosting the Summer Olympics. Athletes and fans from across the world witnessed this grand event at Olympic Stadium and the Velodrome, which has now been converted into the Biodome. The Olympic Stadium now features guided tours about the history of the stadium as well as the Since 1976 exhibition, which will take you on a journey to rediscover the history of Olympic Park. Right beside the stadium is the Biodome, which features a voyage that will take you from the lush tropical rainforest to the penguins in the subpolar regions, with stops in the Laurentian maple forest and the Gulf of St. Lawrence. Olympic Park itself also houses a botanical garden, which features 3 exceptional gardens based off of Chinese, Japanese, and First Nation gardens. Dating back to the 17th century, Old Montreal's narrow cobblestone streets are full of lively plazas and charming shops and cafes. It is situated between the waterfront of the city's modern business hub. Old Montreal's landmarks include the Notre-Dame Basilica, a soaring Gothic Revival church, and the Pointe-à-Calière Museum, with city archaeological ruins. Along the St. Lawrence River, the Old Port of Montreal is home to the Montreal Science Centre and the iconic Clock Tower. While you are in Old Montreal, why not visit Pointe-à-Calière, which is found at the corner of Place Royale. It is marked by a striking modern building that houses a museum of archaeology and history. Place Royale was the center of life in Montreal's colonial days, where the market and parade grounds were located until later government buildings displaced them. However, underneath present-day Montreal, the remains of these early streets still exist, and you can explore these on the visit to the museum. The route begins underground, where you can walk among the original stone-paved streets, drainage channels, and ground floors of the 17th century buildings. After you finish the history tour, take a ride on the many horse carriages that are roaming around Old Montreal. Make your way to the local cafe or to the heart of Old Montreal, the Notre-Dame Basilica. Built in 1829, this is Canada's first Gothic Revival church, equipped with one of the largest Casavan organs in all of North America. The church not only serves as a historical landmark, but still plays an active role in local worship. The church is also home to various musical programs, including the Handel's Messiah, which takes place annually during the Christmas time. The church possesses some of the most striking architecture and ornamentation with carved high altars, wood carvings, vibrant colors, and several religious statues. After you've taken in the awe-inspiring visuals of Notre Dame, it's time to head out into the streets and indulge in the crowds and the many shops in the area. You can then make your way to Old Port, where festival and events happen throughout the year. One of the permanent features of Old Port is the 60-meter-high Ferris wheel called La Grande Roue, which gives you a magnificent bird's-eye view of the city during the day or night. During the winter, come glide on the best refrigerated outdoor rink the town has to offer. This enchanting sight welcomes skaters as it's turned into a winter wonderland with magical Christmas lights every which way you look. One great Canadian dish that originates from the province of Quebec is poutine. Poutine is a dish that includes crispy French fries and soft cheese curds that are topped with hot gravy that melts in your mouth. Poutine emerged in the late 1950s in the central Quebec area and is a staple of Canadian heritage food. The night has arrived, and it's time to head out to Old Montreal because the show is about to begin. Cité Mémoire is an art installation that is displayed on projectors all across Montreal. The projections are poetic, dreamlike, and occasionally playful. The tableaux come alive with images, words, and music to show the history of the city. These installations are projected throughout Old Montreal and Old Port of Montreal. The work appears on the very walls that surround us, the ground on which we walk, and the trees that frame our present. Take a stroll along the pier to get a spectacular view of the Jacques Cartier Bridge. The bridge comes to life at sunset with the changing of lights in every season thanks to a 365-color calendar. Day after day, it gradually changes from an energizing spring green to a radiant summer orange, a vibrant fall red, and finally, an icy winter blue. The light subtly evokes the passage of time in the city, and not only does the bridge light up during the night, but the intensity, speed, and density of the light particles varies with the mentions of Montreal on social media. The more you talk about Montreal, the brighter the bridge. Montreal has a European charm with a North American attitude that pulses day and night with activities. It entices visitors with a harmonious pairing of the historical and modern world all mixed into one great city. It has breathtaking views, and your trip to this diverse city would be incomplete without it. Welcome to Montreal.